Fantasy. 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 Fantasy.
WAEN-FM Atlanta. This is Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com. The best part of waking up isn't Folgers. It's the Beat Break Morning Show. Start your morning off right with Sean Garvey and the crew on BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
Career tips and info with Coach Mo is brought to you by ftsources.com. Okay, guys, so I have to give you a really good tip today, and I'm pretty sure you already know this, but just in case you don't, LinkedIn profiles. You all have to have a LinkedIn profile. It is a professional platform, and it is the only way that you are going to be seen across millions of other applications and millions of other people that are going for the same job. LinkedIn. Get your profile together. First, you want to go ahead and create one. And remember, the higher level your profile, the more LinkedIn will promote you. Higher level means you go from beginning to intermediate and to expert level to all-star level. And of course, the goal is to be all-star level. And how do you attain all-star level for LinkedIn? Well, it's basically completing your profile in its entirety. So first and foremost, let's talk about the picture. And then as the weeks go by, we'll talk about some other tips for LinkedIn profile all-stars. Well, with your picture, you want it to be plain background, maybe a bright background, nothing dark and shady or gloomy looking. You definitely want to show your entire face. No glasses, nothing covering your face. But at the same time, you don't want it to look like a selfie either. So you want it to be at a good distance that maybe your shoulders are showing in a professional stance. Nothing too relaxed and nothing too sensual. Make sure no one else is in the picture. You want to dress for the position. Not only just dressing for the position, but dress to impress. Dress for the profession that you're trying to attain. And last but not least, show those teeth. Make sure you have a smile in your LinkedIn profile. Okay, guys, this is going to assist you when hiring managers look at your profile, and trust me, they will. As soon as you get the interview, they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile to make sure you're a good fit for the company. So again, get your profile pic together, get your LinkedIn profile together in its entirety, and we'll talk more about next steps in the interview process, as well as interview etiquette.
Hey everyone, this is LaVon, and we'd like to welcome you to our new radio show, The Vibe with Vaughn. So come vibe with us each and every Sundays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Beat Break 87 FM and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
When it comes to hip-hop,
don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
Who is she?
Who is this woman I keep hearing about?
Who is she? Who is she? The radio diva herself.
Oh my God, are you talking about?
That can't be. Oh, yes, it is, girl.
Wait a minute, that is her.
Yeah, that is her.
Oh my God.
D-Hill, everybody.
I have to call somebody. This is amazing.
I still can't believe it's her.
Can I get your autograph?
You ain't making me miss her show. Ain't nobody got time for that. D-Hill Radio Show with your host, D-Hill.
Keep up the good job, man. You guys are doing a great job. I hope you blow up. and become syndicated.
Call in at 404-355-8699 or 1-866-923-2860.
This is D Hill.
Clap your hands. With your host, D Hill.
This is D Hill.
Clap your hands.
With your host, D Hill.
Now, here's your host, D Hill.
You all know I'm very excited tonight because I'm always excited when I got a bunch of positive women around me, women that are actually doing things in the community. First, we got Mrs. Let me get this right. I'm going to let her pronounce her name, because it's kind of long and I don't want to jack it up. But she's the author of Abortions in the Church. You know, I was telling her earlier, this is a good workshop because when you think of abortions, you think of physical abortions, people that's getting rid of babies. But we're actually talking about the spiritual realms of abortion, getting rid of, I guess, your purpose in life, getting rid of your dreams and everything that you have. So we're going to be discussing that a little bit later. But before we do that, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Monique McMiller, who I'm so happy to have in the studio with me today. Hey, lady.
Hey, D. What's going on, lady? Thank you for having me. As always, it's a pleasure to be on the D Hill Show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me to the event that I went to today. I mean, it was awesome. And that ties into our author that we're going to have on a little bit later, because your event is only about Christian women.
Yes.
Women that's only in the church.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you, D, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you for supporting Sigma Chi Sigma Sorority Incorporated.
Oh, yes.
We launched March 2017, and it is a remarkable movement of doing something positive with women in the church, like Dee said. One of the requirements is that you must be a Christian. You must be a Jesus Christ believer.
Okay.
And you're right. It ties into the book.
Oh, yes.
About not aborting your vision, because this was a vision that God gave me back in 2003. And just to tag a little bit on it, I ran from it.
Okay.
I allowed people to talk me out of
Yeah.
it because I didn't think I had the confidence to do it.
Yes.
Or even the patience to do it. So I was aborting that vision. And recently, back in December, he brought that vision back to me again. And and God said to me, he said, Monique, if you don't do it, nothing's going to go right until you answer me in this area.
Okay.
So within 3 months, Sigma Chi Sigma Sorority Incorporated was up and running and incorporated in the state of Georgia as a domestic nonprofit.
Wow. So, I mean, what gave you this vision to target only Christian women?
Well, I've been in the secular world. You know,
Okay.
I got a backstory, baby. I was a
All
sinner
right.
before I was a saint. Come on, everybody got one now. So in my undergrad years, you know, we have all organizations. You know, most African Americans know about the D9. And what made me decide to target Christian women was I'm in a different place in my life.
Okay.
And that was really it, and opening up another avenue for Christian women to be able to say, hey, I can be a part of the Greek world. I can be a part of a sorority.
Okay.
And I don't have to do other things that don't line up with the way I'm living my life. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense.
So that's what led me to doing it or opening it up for Christian women.
Okay.
And like I said earlier at the launch, Christian fraternities and sororities have been around since 1925.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah. They've been around since 1925. It's just the mere fact of they don't get the same publicity as other sororities and fraternities that are well known, 100-year organizations, you know.
Yeah.
So, but they're here, and they're here as an avenue for promoting positive things to do in the community, self-awareness, spirituality.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here, D. That's why we're in the sector.
All right. So is there like an age limit for anyone to join your organization?
Yes, Sigma Chi Sigma's age limit, or it begins at 21.
Okay.
We want you to be 21 because we feel by the time you're 21, you've had enough experiences that you can, you know, collaborate with other people and give back out to the community and other women as well. So that's one of the requirements. The other requirement, like I said, Jesus Christ believer. And the third one is that we do ask that you have a profession or a trade or an associate's degree or higher.
Okay.
Because we actually, like you said, we are recruiting women who are doing things in the community.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Wow. So y'all taking no women with no mess. So your abbreviation is STS.
Yes, it is.
So I mean, why did you come up with that name for the organization?
See, there you go. See, there you go. I actually struggled with that name. We went back and forth. My COO, who is not here, Tracy Thomas, and I went back and forth about the name for a while. And when the name came to me, it came to me just in my meditation time, Sigma Tau Sigma, but it actually stood for something very special for me.
Okay.
And what it stood for was supernatural, which was the first S. Tenacious, which was the T.
Okay.
And the last S was self-sacrificing.
Okay.
And that's what it stood for me in private, in my meditation. But we went with the Greek way because it's an avenue for it, and Greek also represents the academic world and the intelligent world as well. I like to say intelligent, but people who want to evolve. So that's why we went with the Greek way. But however, those were the first things that came to me, and I thought that was just awesome.
Wow. So do you all participate? You know how they have like the big Greek and Delta and the AKA festivals and all that when everybody just come together for one big picnic. Do you all participate, or would you all participate in something like that?
Well, since we just marched in March, yes, we will be participating in that. That is on our agenda. We are definitely open to affiliating and collaborating with all fraternities and sororities. So, yeah, we will be participating in something like that, and also reaching out to other Christian fraternities and sororities as well. Matter of fact, we have one that's coming that's going to be our brother frat or fraternity out of Columbia, South Carolina, and they're going to be launching real soon.
Wow, that's amazing.
So they were there today at the launch as well, checking us out. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
So, yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that because, like you said, the Christians has been around for so long, but people don't know that. And it's good that you all are putting that information out there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are definitely trying to get the awareness out there, because let me just keep it real, D. I come on your show all the time.
We're going to keep it real.
I keep it real. Once you lived a certain way and they like to say you unsaved and then you get saved, they think that you're supposed to just dry up like a prune and you ain't supposed to have no fun and you're not supposed to live your life.
Yeah.
So one of the main things about the Christian fraternities and sorority is saying, hey, we still alive. We still living our life. We're just doing it on a different level. We just doing it different, but we still here and we still have fun and we still love people and we love giving back. And guess what? We party.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Because, like you were saying before, people think once you become saved, you're just supposed to be perfect from now on.
Well,
just perfect.
Yeah, I'm so glad I know better. Because it's in our imperfections that He is perfect within us, and I'm talking about God. And that's what happens is that once you're saved, people think that you are supposed to be perfect.
Yeah.
So we get that status quo of being perfect. Honey, I'm so far from being perfect, but I thank God for grace.
So you are just targeting women in the state of Georgia?
No, we're
how far did you go out?
we're actually going international.
Okay.
And to different states. Like we have a couple of women that will be coming through in September. And when through, I mean pledging in September. And they're out of Columbia, South Carolina. And then some of our current sorors are in Pittsburgh or in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in different places. California, Detroit. So we're all over, honey. And we're going international.
Wow. So you can't really give us a little bit about the pledging. Oh, you can't. Okay, it's secret. I know.
No, actually, it's not because we don't do any hazing. It's a 2.5 month process.
Okay.
And what happens in that 2.5 month process is that you learn about the organization and you learn about what we require to be a part of the organization, and also training you to help become a member.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I noticed today when I went to your event, all of the women had on pearls.
Yes.
So what do those pearls represent?
Those pearls represents our triumphs and our trials.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also you have a swan to represent you?
Yes, we do.
Well?
Yes, the swan represents the beauty of the struggle.
Okay. And what about the white rose?
And see, there she is. The white rose represents the bride of Christ and the sacrifice and and how you come through it stronger, the strength.
Okay.
Yes.
So where do you see this organization in the next I'm not even going to say 10 years. I'm going to say the next 2 to 3 years. What
Thanks,
do you see?
I appreciate that, you know.
I hate when people do that. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Like, really?
Really? Yeah, you know, I like the short-term goals. Within the next 3 years, we do definitely see ourselves spreading internationally, globally, meaning across waters, and also conquering some more states, meaning in the South and in the North, hopefully growing by maybe 10 chapters within the next 10 years, next 2 years.
Okay. And I can definitely see you all doing that. Because, you know, like I say, people want to be a part of something positive.
Yes,
all the
thank
time.
you.
And having that sister to uplift you, because, you know, you can be a part of a networking event, but you don't have that sister support there with that networking event, because you go to the networking event, then you go home.
That's right, Dee. You're totally correct about that, you know. And you and I both attend a lot of networking events, and you meet a lot of great people.
Yeah.
But you don't do the follow-up, or you don't stay connected.
Yeah.
You know, but within the sisterhood, you're building a rapport, you're building a legacy, you're building a friendship of love. And like I said earlier at the event, you're building safety.
Yeah.
Because we all get tired, and we all need that positive support, you know. And that's what your sister is. Our motto at Sigma Chi Sigma is no sister left behind.
Okay.
No sister left behind, man. That's so powerful, because we're going to get you.
Good.
We're going to wrap our arms around you. We're going to wrap our prayers around you, our resources, if we must, around you.
Okay.
And that's what it's about. No sister left behind in sisterhood.
Okay. Well, no, Monique, you know I'm going to be real about everything.
Come on.
So you say no sister left behind. So what if a Muslim sister wants to join your organization, and she's not a Christian, she's a Muslim?
Well, G, you know what? Here's the thing. It's one God, one universe.
Okay.
And that, I'm glad you asked that question, because guess what? That's going to come up.
Yes.
And we are not going to discriminate because you call him Allah, we call him Christ.
Okay.
That's not fair to discriminate in that manner.
Okay.
And we do have a board, a national panel that who vote for our SARAs as well, or we take a look at everything overall and make a decision. So no, she will not be denied because she calls her God Allah. Because at the end of the day, it's about humanity.
Okay.
It's about spreading the goodness.
So where can they go to get more information on your organization?
Well, our website is 2017sts.com, and they will find everything that they need right there. Again, 2017sts.com. That is our national website, and you are more than welcome to go and check us out and get in contact with us.
Okay. So that's 2017
STS.com.
Are you all on social media as well?
We are. We have a Sigma Chi Sigma social media page.
Okay.
We also have a Sigma Chi Sigma Instagram page as well.
Okay. I'm so glad you're here, because, you know, it answered really so many questions. I was just so confused because I have a couple of friends of mine that are Eastern Stars. And my dad, he was a Mason. So he really didn't talk about what Masons did. And I always grew up in the church, and the pastor and everybody told me that being an Eastern Star, being a Mason, is devil worshiping. So when I went to this Eastern Star, like I said, they invited me to a breakfast that they had. The breakfast was inside of a church, and my dad was a devoted deacon. So it's like when I hear the pastors and I hear the members say that, it's like it just left me so confused to hear things like that. And I guess I grew up not thinking that women could do positive things, such as, you know, what you all are doing.
Well, I grew up in the same era that you grew up in, Dee.
Okay.
And I grew up with my grandmother was a devoted Methodist. She was an Eastern Star. My uncles were Masons. My aunt and uncles, Divine Nine, meaning AKAs, Sigma, Deltas, AKAs, all of that. So I grew up in that world too. But to speak on what you just said about the Masons and the Eastern Stars, you hear those things, and you hear factions within the church that cause disruptions within the church, you know. And to me, unless you've experienced it for yourself, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. You know what I mean? And I think that when you said confusion, it causes division when people say those things, because everybody's experience is different. My grandmother was a great woman. And when
Okay.
I tell you a Proverbs 31 woman, she was. But was she an Eastern Star? She sure was.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she was that until she
Wow.
went on to transition.
Wow, good. And I guess people with your organization, people going to have a hard time. I don't want to use the word not believing, but people just have in their head, in order to be a member of this organization, you got to be in college.
I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say that, D. I knew you was going to say that.
Before you answer that, I was talking to a coworker of mine, and I was telling him that I wanted to go back to college because I always wanted to pledge. And he hurt my feelings so bad. He was like, "D, you too old to be pledging. You too old to be pledging, and this is a good organization to join if you've never been to college or anything.
It is
like that.
It is, and that's the point of it all, is that you don't have to be an undergrad to pledge. You can come and join Sigma Chi Sigma, and we're here for you. And you still get the experience of pledging without the kind of quote unquote crazy stuff that you do in undergrad.
Okay.
But you don't get that over here. So I think that's the good thing about being able to pledge when you're older, because you have more wisdom and you're surrounded by more people with wisdom. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. I know that some of the youngs, like you said, 21 years old, and you just said starting at 21. I know they're going to be very excited to join, especially ones that probably did not have a chance to even go to college or anything like that, and who wanted to be a part of an organization like yours.
That's our hope. That's our hope, is that they are that they do get excited and recognize that they have an avenue. And that's what I call it. It's an avenue. It's another avenue that you can take to achieve what you wanted to achieve before.
Okay.
Because sometimes people feel like, hey, I wanted to pledge. That was a dream of mine to pledge.
Yeah.
And they had to let it go.
Yeah.
So now
definitely.
Sigma Chi Sigma is giving them an avenue to say, hey, come on, let's see what you come pledge with us. We got you. So.
And this really opened a door for me, because I had posted on my Facebook page that what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a graduation celebration or graduation ceremony for those who never got a chance to walk down the aisle, such as myself.
That's
and a lot of people had to drop out of school because, they got pregnant. They had to go to work, didn't have no choice, and they didn't have a chance to walk down the aisle and get a diploma. So I said I want to do that for the ones that didn't get a chance to walk down the aisle. And for you to start this organization, it kind of ties in.
It does.
Together.
It does. And that's what I was getting ready to say. Publicly, I'm announcing to you, if you need Sigma Chi Sigma, we there for you.
Okay.
So you let me know when.
Definitely.
Because that's an awesome
definitely.
idea. And it's much needed.
Yes.
Your idea is much needed. And because we talk, so it builds the confidence level.
Yes.
When they have that ceremony
do.
to move to the next level, it makes them feel important, man. And that's what's so important. Yeah. It makes them feel like they're somebody because they are somebody. And I think that's the other avenue component of Sigma Chi Sigma as well. Like you said, is joined together.
Yes.
We're giving women the opportunity to say, okay, guess what? You might not have been accepted in school. You might not have been able to do it because you had to leave college and you couldn't pledge. But now you have an avenue where you can come and embrace it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And feel proud about it. Feel proud about wearing your colors and your letters.
Definitely that.
So building confidence is what it's about. Giving them some hope, man.
Yeah. Because I've already gotten like a mother. She called me. She was saying she never got a chance to walk down the aisle. Her son never got a chance to walk down the aisle. And they're just so excited. And I've already got people from the state capitol getting in contact with me saying I got their full support. So maybe you all should think about maybe having a STS day at the state capitol.
You know what, D? You will open up doors, honey. Yes, you will put ideas out there. Yes, and that's something that we definitely gonna think about.
Please do.
Yes. Hey, I got you as a resource. You're gonna teach me how to do it.
Oh, honey,
okay.
I'm ready.
All right, so I got you.
I'm ready.
So tag team. She committed to it, y'all. She committed to me now.
All right. Anything else you want to add before we close?
I actually don't. I just want everyone out there to know, especially women in the Christian background or the Christian community, STS is here for you. Sigma Chi Sigma Sorority is here. We welcome you with open arms and grace. And listen, get in contact with us. Don't miss your opportunity to be a part of a sisterhood that will impact and change your life. And again, like I say, our motto is no sister left behind. We're here for you. We're doing good things in the community, and we're putting good work out there. So check us out.
Yeah. No mess. mess, honey.
No mess at all.
No drama.
No drama. We don't do all that cattiness, and we ain't the Atlanta Housewives. No shade, just real. So it is, honey. Come on.
You know what? That's right. You might have to put me in my place because I sure was going to have that girl on my show, the one that wrote that book.
I just fell out the chair.
I sure was going to have Sister Kate on my show, honey.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So once again, give them your website.
Sure. It is 2017sts.com. Once again, 2017sts.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. Go to the website, check us out. Hit the contact page and let us hear from you. Give us some feedback because it's all about collaboration and growth.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also, you said a 2-month process?
And it's a 2.5-month pledging process.
Okay.
Yes, before you become a full Sigma woman.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Once again, Miss Monique, thank you so much for coming on the D Hill Radio Show. I always love having you, so make sure you come back. Come back in the next month or so. Well, maybe 5 months. Let me know how it's going.
Yes, ma'am, I will, Dee. And thank you so much for always being a voice in the community and opening up doors for women like myself, Dee, for real.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Definitely.
you. Thank you for having us.
All right. Love you, girl.
Love you, too.
All right. So we're going to take a music break then. Once we come back, we're going to be talking about abortion in the church. Everybody need to listen to this topic. Make sure you call in 44355-8699, 44355-8699.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
A storage tank ruptured, and for miles, chemicals were pushing up against the riverbanks.
This was a big, big deal, and it was going to have a serious impact on communities up and down the river.
I remember the moment this local guy came up to me and said, "They call the guard out for this stuff?"
You probably thought we were all about hurricanes, tornadoes, fighting Mother Nature.
Hey, it's a chemical spill. It's a disaster.
It affects the water supply, threatens wildlife.
We're talking about the health of entire communities and people's livelihoods.
You bet we're ready for these kinds of things.
We were out there with booms to prevent the spill from expanding.
We're responsible for protecting and monitoring the sensitive wetlands.
I also remember the moment that same guy came up to me and said, "I don't know what we would have done if they hadn't called the guard up."
Learn more about how you can protect your friends, families, neighbors, and the environment. Everything that makes up your community. Go to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Georgia National Guard. Aired by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show, 6 a.m. to 12 noon. And nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show, 6 p.m. to midnight. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up? ATL, we are back here on the D Hill Radio Show on Love 860 AM, WAEC, where we come to you live every Saturday night from 7 to 8 p.m. We have our author in with us today. I'm just so excited about this book, and the name of the book is called Abortions in the Church. It's not talking about physical abortions, but spiritual abortion. We have Dr. D. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't put the doctor in front of your name.
It's coming.
All right, it's coming. That's right. I spoke it into existence.
Yes.
It's all that happened. D. Run Shea, and that name is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank
you for coming in to the D Hill Radio Show.
Thank you, Dee, for having me, and the show is such an honor to be here with you this evening. I'm so excited about tonight that we're going to have this time we're going to share together.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So tell me, and this book really is talking about me, to be honest with you, tell you the truth. So tell us a little bit about this book.
Okay, Abortions in the Church, Divine Strategies to Spiritual Deliverance is a book that God gave me about 2 years ago. He woke me up out of my sleep on vacation, and he began to talk to me about how radical we are as believers about physical abortions. And he began to talk about if we would get just as radical about spiritual abortions, then we would begin to eliminate the natural abortions that are taking place. He said what is taking place naturally is just a small glimpse of what's taking place spiritually. And so when we begin to deal with the spirit of man, we will take care of the natural boundaries of things, the murders, the death, the abortions, and things of that nature that are taking place in society.
Okay. So let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Why did you write this? book?
I wrote this book. I wrote this book to get the word out.
Okay.
Because, even as God was giving me the words and the vision about individuals aborting their dreams, their goals, their desires, and their aspiration, he was just letting me know how it's directly tied to, the murders and the deaths that are taking place and the abortions that are taking place, even naturally. And so God wanted to get the word out to assist his people and help his people in their lives on how to give birth into their dreams, their goals, their visions, and find those obstacles in life that are hindering them from giving birth to what it is that he's placed inside of their heart.
Okay. For an example, the reason I said that this book definitely referring to me, because like I told you earlier, I got a book. I haven't even wrote the first chapter. I've been working on that book for, over 10 years. And you know what? I have it in my head, but it's like I can't get it on paper. And, people tell me just write it down. I think that what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to write a book. Write a book instead of just writing it on paper.
Gotcha.
I get discouraged, and I just quit.
Okay. Look, I understand. I know exactly, what you were going through. And so what it is, and different things I talk about, in the book, is identifying, what is the obstacle that you have, or the obstacles that is coming against you, that is hindering you from sitting down and writing. What are the things that causes you to be discouraged? And even look at it from a subconscious standpoint, because it also could be subconscious that you can't even really realize, but it's there because you don't really pay a whole lot of attention to it, which what's going on right there. I know for me, when it came to writing, writing was a hindrance for me. And I was even laughing with God the other day because I'm writing, I'm doing all these articles, and I found myself back in the day. I told you earlier that I didn't complete high school, and I dropped out I only finished up to the 8th grade, so I didn't finish 9th grade or anything of that nature. And so when I came to get my GED at the age of 22, I flunked the writing test like 3 times. And so that fear, every time it came to a point where I had to write, that fear would always be there. And it had to determine, what is this fear? Why is it here? And then moving, and once identifying the fear that I had, then being able to move beyond what that fear is. And, of course, with the Word of God, putting the Word of God on that particular area of fear in one's life, so one's faith can begin to increase, in that area.
All right. Do you think that it would help if people notice what their fear is, and or either what's hindering them from writing, and write it down?
It would definitely help. It would definitely help if you can, because you need to identify what's your hindrance. If you if you don't identify your area of hindrance, then you will never be able to overcome it. You'll never be able to overcome it, because you got to know what it is that's hindering me, so that you can get the strategies on how to overcome it and how to remove it from being your stumbling block.
All right. Where does aborting spirituality? How does somebody abort? I guess being spiritual.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, so let's say, for instance, if God have given you a vision to, let's say, start a daycare. Okay, and if he's giving you a vision for it, he's already given you the provision and the permission for that to manifest in your life. But sometimes we can look at situations and circumstances, and we may even get started. We may go and get all the structural paperwork done and things of that nature. And sometimes because things are not coming the way we want, or we may have people in our ear saying, you can't do this, where the money for that, and things of that nature. You may went to the bank and you got denied and you gave up. You aborted the assignment that God has given for your life. But what I would say to you, even in those instances, if your environment is not conducive, let's say, for instance, I talked about the bank may deny you. You know what? That's probably one of the places where you were supposed to go and get that approval. Somebody in the earth got the approval approval for you because God has already given the permission if that's the way he wants for you to go. And then if you're in a negative environment where you got people saying that you can't do this and that stuff like that begin to weigh on you. I talk about in the book, I talk about two different types of an abortion, an induced abortion and a spontaneous abortion.
Okay.
An induced abortion talks about it's when you have different things continuing to come at you, and then finally you just give up. A spontaneous abortion happens, you get one traumatic event, and you give up on the assignment that you was working on or that you were supposed to be doing as well. So those are two different things that you have to look at as an individual as well. You also want to look at your history.
Okay.
Your history of having an abortion, a spiritual abortion. Do you have a history of giving up on your dreams?
Okay.
Do you have a history of starting things and stopping it, not following it through? And if that is a history pattern for you, you definitely need an accountability partner.
All right.
You need an accountability partner because what that accountability partner would do, because they will help you push past that hurdle when you get to that point, I'm giving up. I'm quitting. That will be someone there to continue to push you in the places where you need to be pushed. Where when you don't have accountability partner, you can just give up. You
and do what you want to do.
Right? You have nobody to answer to. So that's something that that you definitely will need if you notice that is one of the errors that causes you to have that spiritual abortion.
Sometimes I pat myself on the back just a little. Because some of the things that I've, accomplished, that I've done myself, a girl from a small hometown, I got a resolution from the state capitol. To me, that's something big. Three things that are very important to me, I never let anyone tell me no, what I can't do.
That's good.
I never let anyone tell me that. And going back to what you said, it's probably not the right bank for you. A friend of mine, C.A. Belt, put in my head, D, it's not that you can't have it, it's not that time. And another thing is, I was reading where all these number one bestseller, billions sellers, authors, the books that they sold, they had numbers beside them. And each number represented how many times somebody told them, no, that book was not going to be a success. And those are the three important things that really motivate and push me.
Wow. I want to say this because I want it. That's important. Even as I'm hearing you talk, there's some areas in our life that we're very comfortable with.
Yeah.
And we can go and we can do big, great, and mighty things in them. But there are some areas that we'll find in our lives where there's some fear or some intimidations or some things that happen in our past that will hinder or limit us in moving in those things, doing great and mighty things in those particular areas. And so, and I don't care how big or how great or how many powerful things that you have done, we all face those types of challenges. And so we need somebody there to help, walk us through that process to get us over those particular hurdles. Because again, some things that we do, we really don't realize because it's subconscious. It's something in the back of our mind. And every time we get ready to move at some particular area, something triggers to bring that fear and cause us to shut it down.
Okay. Prime example, I posted on my Facebook page and you commented on it about 2 weeks ago. Let's get together at a coffee shop to finish writing our book. People posted they ready. I ain't said nothing else about it.
Right, because somebody should have been messaging back, when we going to meet, what time? I seen the 3 o'clock time, somebody, and I just happened to see it today.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this was a late post, but let me just check. Hey, have you, and just sitting down, let me see where they are.
Okay.
With those books, because that's my passion, is to help individuals birth the dream, the vision, the goals, whatever it is that God has given unto them, to help them get over those hurdles and help, be that accountability partner.
Okay, I definitely need that.
Help midwife those babies.
Okay.
Because they're still consider your dreams, your goals, your purpose, your baby.
Okay.
So you can have a spiritual midwife there to help you birth those things out in your life.
Okay, and I think one thing about me, I just got in my mind, I don't know why, it's just so expensive to publish a book. You know, I just have that, and I think that's one of my fears, too.
Let me say this. It's not expensive to publish a book, number one. But number two, like I said, you know, see, because you're letting the fear of money hinder you from moving in your place of permission and your place of promise.
Mm-hmm.
And what you have to understand, if God has ordered your steps according to his word, he has already made the provision. He's already put the people in the right place to help you move forward in it. And even if even if you don't have the money, I remember somebody called in on my prayer line and they had wrote a book.
Okay.
And they had wrote a book, but they had wrote a children's book and they need illustrations.
Okay.
And they said, but I don't have the money for illustrations, and it's it is expensive to have children book illustration for children books. And I said to the woman that got on the phone, and she must thought I was absolutely crazy.
All right.
I said, I just believe because you don't did everything that God required you to do that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's somebody out there that is willing to pour and invest into your life, to pour and invest into your vision so this dream can manifest in your life because it's holding you up. And so I got on the phone, I started texting and everything, and people were giving me response, but there's nobody who can do it, and it's this, that. And I said, I believe that it is. I said, I don't know where they're going to come from, but they're going to spring up somewhere, and surely somebody springed up that they would invest the drawing into this woman's life so that her book can be published. You know, so, and I'm saying that to say this, if God has given it unto you, you know, surely it will come to pass. You just do everything in your right, in your strength. And you do everything in your right and your strength in the people. He's going to bring the resources. He's going to connect everything together. You're going to be the right place at the right time where time and eternity is going to meet, and you're going to be able to give birth.
Wow. So, wow. Some strong words. So let me ask you this. Okay, we're talking about aborting your dreams. We're talking about things that could hinder you. What about the people that could hinder you?
Absolutely. We all have experienced people, places, and things and environments that hinder us from birthing forth in the things of God.
Okay.
And as we know in the book of Psalms, we told to get away from the sinners, the mockers, as well as the scorners. And those are individuals in your life that will speak negative unto you. It said the blessed is the man who don't sit in the company or walk with those type of people. Why? Because you don't have no one in your space hindering you, talking you out of your dream and your vision. You don't have no haters, you know, shooting arrows at you or people stabbing you in your back, putting you down so that you can abort the assignment that God has called forth in your life. You're blessed when you're not in the company of those people because they're not being a hindrance from you. I mean, and so you have to find yourself in places when you have people in your life or in your environment that is not conducive for your purpose. You need to leave. You need to move. You need to find yourself or move yourself in a place, in an environment that is conducive for what it is that God has called for you to do. Find people in your life, in your space, who would encourage you, empower you, who would be your cheerleaders in the things that God has called forth in your life, because that's important. Because there are going to be days where you get tired. There's going to be days, you know, where you want to give up, but you're going to need somebody who you can call or somebody in your space to tell you you can do it. You know, just give you a word of encouragement and that fresh wind of breath air, you know, so that you can be empowered. You say, you know what, I can. You can pick yourself back up and begin to move in the very things that you've been dreaming about.
Wow. So let me ask you this. What is a stillborn?
Spiritual stillborn.
Spiritual stillborn.
Okay, we talk about spiritual stillborn in the book. A spiritual stillborn is this. It is a dream, a vision, a goal that God has given unto you. And even your gifts and your talents, you may be moving in it, and you may find yourself in a place where you're stuck.
Okay.
And because you're stuck, you refuse to move.
Okay.
You refuse to move past the obstacle that's before you, and so you find yourself in a place where your dream, your vision, your aspiration begin to be choked out of you because of the hindrances that are before you. Your hindrance, you know, some people it could be your job. Some people it could be, you know, your church, your church leaders, and things of that nature that is not permission you to grow. That which you are carrying gotta have the room that is needed so that it can grow, so that it can expand to what it is that God has called for you to be. And if what you are doing, your environment or even the people around you, if they are not in a place that would allow you to grow into what it is that God has called you to be and do, it's going to suffocate that dream, and it's going to suffocate that vision, and it will die.
So true. My next question, how can you stop an abortion?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
That is a very great question, and it's going to depend on because we do talk about preventive methods in the book. So it's going to depend on where you are.
Okay.
Depending on where you are and what you're dealing with. Let's say, for instance, if you are in a place where you're carrying your assignment, or you're moving in your assignment, and then you find yourself where there are limitations before you.
Okay.
You don't look at the limitations and look at them in a state to determine that you can't move forward or that you can't birth what it is. What do you look at the limitation not as obstacles but as opportunities?
Okay.
So that you can grow and expand and move into things that God has called for you to do. Now, if those places of limitations that are there or the negative environment that is there, again, we talk about moving to different environments, or finding different people, or finding different places or things that God has already put before you. The thing about what causes you to have that spiritual abortion is that there is something negative that is coming against the word. Okay. And so you have to find yourself in a place where you're identifying, okay, what is this that's coming against the word? And then how do I need to grow past this obstacle? What boundary lines do I need to move out of my way that is hindering me from moving forward? So it's just gonna depend. It really gonna depend on what it is. What is your place of hindrance, and how to move and how to overcome that particular place. Let's say, for instance, a lot of people, the number one reason that people abort their assignment is fear. Okay. Whether it's fear of man, where it's, fear of being accepted, fear of being rejected, fear. So once you identify your area of fear, we already know that God said he didn't give us a spirit of fear, but he gave us one of love, power, and a sound mind. We know that perfect love casts out fear. We know that as well. So whatever your area of fear is, then we find ourselves in a place, okay, I'm fearing people. I'm fearing the rejection of people. Okay. And you will get that. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you got to understand that you are accepted in the kingdom of God. God has accepted you. And whether people reject you or not, or they accept what it is that God has called forth in your life, His word says that no eyes have seen, no ears have heard, nor that it hinted the thought of man what it is that I have in store for those who I love. And some people ain't gonna be able to see or hear or be able to understand or comprehend what it is that God has for you. So you gotta trust that and believe in that. You gotta trust in God's word, whether anybody else believe it or not. It have to be so ingrained in you that it doesn't matter who's with you, even if you have to go all by yourself. So it boils down to trusting God at his word.
All right. Listening to you speak, you have said some very, very, very interesting things. And I don't know why, for some reason, it's like this came to mind. This week, a friend of mine's, when you were speaking about support system, you think of your mom is your only support system. Your mom is going to be there for you, pushing you, telling you positive things, encouraging words. But a friend of mine posted this week, I just wanted to cry. She was talking about some of the things that her mom had did to her. Then it was like under the comments, 2 sisters had posted the same thing. Well, I dealt with the same thing with my mom, and it was called Narcissistic Mom. They wrote books about it. And I guess their moms hating them since childbirth. And that just, I thought about that when you was talking about, having that support system.
Yeah, let me say this, Dee, and there is a lot of people that are out here that, mom just isn't there. Father, isn't there. And that's why, and usually those people would deal in the realm of fear of rejection.
Yeah.
But and they're not there, but even though they're not there, there are some people that God has set aside to help and assist you and to push you into things that God has called forth in your life, and not to be discouraged because they are not there. But, be encouraged that he has set people in place. I know for me, I have several spiritual moms, and I have this one particular spiritual mom, and, they set me in their family every holiday and stuff like that. We're just a part of them, like I was birthed out of her loins. And I go to these family meetings and stuff, and I just be like, thank you, Jesus. I see the vision. One day this is going to be my family. My family is going to be able to come and interact in this way. Glory to God, and thank you, Jesus. But he put people in my space and in my area to be able to pour into me in places where other people just wasn't available.
Okay. All right. So I don't know why that just came to mind when you was talking about that. I just want to cry when I seen that post of that young lady sharing that about her mom.
Yeah, I definitely understand. It is, it is heartfelt and hard. Last year I had the opportunity for something that I wanted all my life was just the support of, my family. My family, for my life. And, last year I had the opportunity, my 87-year-old grandmother, and she turned 88 in the process, but I had the opportunity for her, she picked up and she just started, every time I moved, she was there.
Really?
Every time I moved, she was there. Sometimes I used to have to sneak out of town just so, I ain't tell her, don't tell her about certain events. And when I say she, and I was like, man, God, I thank you for the opportunity for the first time in my life being able to really have family there to support what it is that I'm doing. Because I did, I do a whole lot of stuff, amen. And it was just nice to be able to see the family, my grandmother there, and then my mother began to accompany us. And so I'm like, thank you, Jesus. The dream is coming alive.
Yeah, and, it do have a different feel when, no matter how many people is there, but it's a different feel when your family is there.
Right. And so many times, we abort the things that God has placed in our life because we desire for family to be there, and they're not there. But I want to encourage people who were in that particular situation, just continue to move forward, continue to fast, continue to pray, for your family, and in due season, it'll happen for your life. One of the things a conclusion that I came up with, D, was this. Sometimes God has to keep people out of your space so that they won't become your God.
Okay.
That they won't become your dependency. Because sometimes we can get in spaces where when people are there, they become our crutches.
Okay.
And they limit us. They cause us to be limited in how we're able to move and operate in the things of God, because they're now our crutch, and because they've been our crutch. So sometimes he want to teach us and put us in places where we are self-sufficient to move into things of him, because we only depend on him. And it's an extra, it's something extra when you have those people in your space and in your environment. Yes, the joy, it's something extra special that's there when they're there. But still, you ain't depending on them. You're depending on him.
Okay. So join the campaign. So we're going to make a pledge. So how do I make the pledge? And what is the pledge?
Okay, the pledge, to join the campaign. I'm excited about the No More Abortions campaign. And making the pledge is this. It's making a commitment to your dream.
Okay.
To your vision, to your goal, like that book.
Yeah.
Making that commitment, to this book, to that assignment that God has given unto you, no matter what. And it's just, signing up, saying, I'm making a pledge to do this.
Okay.
Amen. To what it is that you're making that pledge to do. And I'm going to follow up. Where are you? How are you?
Okay. I need that.
How are you on this assignment? Where are you? Are you stuck? And
taking a nap.
What's causing you to be stuck in things of that nature?
Right.
One of the things I do want to say, I say to everybody that know me, whatever your dream is, whatever it is that he's called for you to do, make sure that you're putting your hands on it every day.
Okay.
In some form, shape, or fashion.
All right. Thank you. Because I'm going to go back home tonight. I'm going to write on that comment. I'm going to give people a day and time, we actually going to meet there. Even if I have to meet there by myself to finish writing that book.
Awesome. We'll say it again.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's going to be my prayer that you get started before y'all get there.
Oh yeah, definitely that. Yeah,
that you get started before you guys.
Okay.
Before you guys even get there.
All right.
As well. So
okay.
I'm excited about that. I'll be tapping you on your shoulder.
Please do. I need it so bad.
Miss D, where are you with that book?
So, where can people purchase your book?
Oh, you can purchase the book. You can go to inthechurch.com and get it there.
Okay, in the church?
Inthechurch.com.
Okay.
Or you can go to Amazon. You can definitely pick it up off Amazon as well. Any one of those places, you can go and pick up the book for $14.99. It's a small investment that will change your life forever.
Definitely. So let me ask you this. I'm just asking for me. Is it a fee to put your books on Amazon?
No.
It's not? Okay. We need to get you back on here so you can, take us step by step on, even getting covers for this book and everything. Because a lot of us, we don't know. We don't know.
Gotcha. I definitely would love to come back and be able to share that information. How can you self-publish your book? What is the expense for doing such a thing? How to do it on a small budget without all of the expense, the expensive cost that it could. Going through different avenues, or I won't touch it with my mouth right now.
Okay. All right. That's good. That sounds good. All right. So, and they can follow you also on social media?
Yes. You can go on social media. Instagram, Facebook is In the Church.
Okay.
Twitter is In the Church Live.
Okay. All right. So is this your first book? I think I asked you this before. Is this your first book?
This is my first book that is published in this capacity. My husband always had to remind me because I teach and I train and I wrote training manuals. But this is a different type of publication.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, he's like, that ain't your first book.
All right.
But it is my first book in this capacity.
All right. Okay. Wow. Congratulations. I'm just so excited for you. I'm just so excited, to even read the book once I get it. Very excited about that. And, I'm going to definitely share it with my family and friends because everybody I know struggles. Everybody I know have had and is having abortion, spiritual abortions.
Absolutely.
And, just like the Nike campaign said, just do it.
Just do it. Look, I've had so many spiritual abortions. It's a shame. Yeah. It should be against the law. How many things that I've aborted.
Especially starting something and don't finish. I'm the queen of it.
Right. We got to get beyond those things.
Oh, yes.
Glory to God.
All right. So, wow, that's the end of our show. Wow, we had so much fun, and I learned so much from Abortions in the Church. I learned so much from your book. Just by the title alone, I've learned so much. We definitely going to have you to come back.
Oh, absolutely. Would love the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. All right. So I want to thank everybody else. So make sure that you go and get Abortions in the Church at Amazon.com and also in the church.com. Purchase this book. It's a good investment. $14.
Atlanta's new underground station. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. The best part of waking up isn't Folgers. It's the Beat Break Morning Show. Start your morning off right with Sean Garvey and the crew on BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the App Marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
Career tips and info with Coach Mo is brought to you by ftsources.com. Okay, guys, so I have to give you a really good tip today, and I'm pretty sure you already know this, but just in case you don't, LinkedIn profiles. You all have to have a LinkedIn profile. It is a professional platform, and it is the only way that you are going to be seen across millions of other applications and millions of other people that are going for the same job. LinkedIn. Get your profile together. First, you want to go ahead and create one. And remember, the higher level your profile, the more LinkedIn will promote you. Higher level means you go from beginning to intermediate and to expert level to all-star level. And of course, the goal is to be all-star level. And how do you attain all-star level for LinkedIn? Well, it's basically completing your profile in its entirety. So first and foremost, let's talk about the picture. And then as the weeks go by, we'll talk about some other tips for LinkedIn profile all-stars. Well, with your picture, you want it to be plain background, maybe a bright background, nothing dark and shady or gloomy looking. You definitely want to show your entire face. No glasses, nothing covering your face. But at the same time, you don't want it to look like a selfie either. So you want it to be at a good distance that maybe your shoulders are showing in a professional stance. Nothing too relaxed and nothing too sensual. Make sure no one else is in the picture. You want to dress for the position. Not only just dressing for the position, but dress to impress. Dress for the profession that you're trying to attain. And last but not least, show those teeth. Make sure you have a smile in your LinkedIn profile. Okay, guys, this is going to assist you when hiring managers look at your profile, and trust me, they will. As soon as you get the interview, they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile to make sure you're a good fit for the company. So again, get your profile pic together, get your LinkedIn profile together in its entirety, and we'll talk more about next steps in the interview process, as well as interview etiquette.
Hey everyone, this is LaVon, and we'd like to welcome you to our new radio show, The Vibe with Vaughn. So come vibe with us each and every Sundays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on BeatBreak 87 FM and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
When it comes to hip-hop,
Don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.